You drank milk in the last day and didn't think about it once. In your coffee, or straight from the bottle when no one was looking. Here's what should stop you. Most adults alive right now physically can't do that. 2 out of 3 would spend the next hour regretting. Your body handling it without a fight isn't normal. It's a glitch, written into a small slice of humanity only a few thousand years ago. And it gets stranger because the milks that actually beat the one in your glass, richer, healthier, closer to what fed you as a baby, are ones you'll never be allowed to drink. The animals that make them would put you in a hospital first, so stick around. The cow isn't in your glass for being the best. It's there because it was the only one that would hold still and let us take it. Start with your own gut. Every baby mammal you included is born able to digest milk. It has to be, because milk is the only meal on the menu. But in almost every mammal, that ability shuts off after weaning. The body stops making the enzyme that breaks milk down, because why keep paying to digest a food you'll never see again? For most of human history, we ran that same rule. Milk works in childhood, quits in adulthood. Then, within the last 10,000 years, a tiny edit appeared in the DNA of a few groups of herders living shoulder to shoulder with their animals. It jammed the milk switch in the on position for life, and it spread fast. With a herd outside your door, drinking from it was an edge. But it never reached everyone. It's common in Northern Europe and a few herding peoples, and rare across most of the world. So, when you pour a glass and nothing happens, you're not the normal one. You're running a mutation most humans were never handed. And milk was never meant for you anyway. Not for any adult of any species. A mother's body builds it for one job, turning a helpless newborn into something that can survive on its own, fast. Watch the rest of the animal kingdom, and the rule is absolute. A fox, a deer, a whale, a gorilla. Each one drinks its mother's milk, grows up, and never touches the stuff again. Not because it can't, because the whole idea is finished. Then there's us. We wait for another animal to give birth, step in, take the milk meant for her calf, and keep drinking it for the next 80 years. Nothing else on Earth does that. You've just never had a reason to notice because everyone around you does it too. So why the cow? Not because anyone tested every milk and crowned a winner. The cow won a numbers game. Point 1 at a field, and it turns grass you can't eat into milk by the bucket. 6, 7 gallons in a day, where a goat barely fills a jug, and a sheep does worse. Cows also tolerate more, hotter and colder climates, being herded by the 100 instead of coddled one by one. If you're an early farmer feeding a growing village, you don't pick the healthiest milk. You pick the animal that floods you with the most for the least trouble. The cow didn't earn your fridge by being good for you. It earned it by being easy. And once a whole food system leans on one animal, it stops looking like a choice and starts looking like just the way things are. But step outside your kitchen and that fridge looks weirdly narrow because most of the world never agreed cow was the default. So let's climb through the milks people actually drink and watch how fast it leaves your comfort zone. Start close. Goat feeds more people worldwide than anything but cow because a goat thrives on dry, rocky ground that would starve a cow. And its fat comes in smaller particles, so plenty of people who can't handle cow milk do fine on goat. Then buffalo. If you've had real mozzarella, you've had it. And in India, close to half of all milk drunk each day still comes from buffalo, not cows. Neither is exotic. Between them, they feed a huge slice of the planet. They're invisible to you only because of where you were born. That's rung 1. It gets stranger from here. Rung 2, milk's built for places that would kill a cow. Out in the desert, camel milk is an everyday drink from the Middle East to Central Asia. More vitamin C than cow milk. Less of the sugar that upsets people, and proteins researchers keep studying for their effect on blood sugar. A camel keeps going where a cow would drop from the heat. Higher up in the mountains, it's the yak, milk so rich it's nearly half butter, churned into salted tea to keep people warm where you'd struggle to breathe. Colder still in the Arctic, people milk reindeer, and that milk runs about a fifth pure fat, closer to cream than to anything you'd pour on cereal. Because a calf in that cold packs on fat or dies. See the pattern. The harsher the place, the richer the milk. And we still haven't hit the strange ones. Rung 3, and now it gets personal. Across the Central Asian steppe, people don't just drink horse milk, they ferment it into a tangy, faintly fizzy, mildly alcoholic drink, and have for thousands of years, because a mare's thin, sugary milk makes lousy cheese but ferments beautifully. And then there's donkey milk, of every animal milk on Earth, the closest match to the milk you drank as a newborn. Gentler, thinner, easier on a human gut than anything a cow makes. In old Europe, a baby whose mother had no milk was sometimes raised on a donkey instead. Sit with that. The milk nearest the one that kept you alive as a baby doesn't come from the animal in your fridge. It comes from the one you'd laugh at the idea of milking. Which brings us to the top of the ladder. The milks that beat everything in your fridge and that you'll still never drink, because here a wall goes up. Take the moose. Its milk is far richer than a cow's, and people have genuinely tried to farm it. There's one in Sweden doing it now. The catch? A moose gives maybe 2 liters only if you milk it in total silence, and it can take 2 hours because the animal spooks and shuts down. 2 hours, one nervous moose, for a fraction of what a cow hands you before breakfast. Climb past patience into pure danger. Elephant milk is extraordinarily rich, but a mother guarding her calf is among the deadliest animals you could walk toward. Bear milk, during hibernation, runs up to 1/3 pure fat, the richest on this entire list. Good luck collecting it. Zebras shrugged off every attempt to tame them, and a hippo would end you before you filled a cup. The best milks on Earth are right there. The animals just won't hand them over. And that's the answer the question was hiding the whole time. We don't drink cow milk because it won on nutrition. It loses to half this list. We drink it because the cow lost a different contest, the one for being easy to rob. 10,000 years ago, its wild ancestor wasn't placid at all. It was the aurochs, 6 feet at the shoulder, close to a ton, and glad to kill you. It took generations of patient breeding to shrink it, calm it, and turn it into an animal that would stand in a pen and let a stranger take its milk every morning without a fight. That's the real trophy. Not the tastiest milk, not the healthiest. The animal most willing to be robbed, daily, forever. The cow never won on quality. It won on surrender. So that's the real answer. Cow milk isn't in your fridge because it beat the others. Sheep milk carries more in every drop. Camel milk does things cow milk simply can't. And there's a moose out there with cream you'll never get near. None of it matters because 10,000 years ago, out of every animal that could have filled that glass, the cow was the one that didn't gore us, didn't bolt, and didn't mind us coming back every morning to take what its calf was owed. We didn't pick the best milk. We picked the animal that would let us. And then our own bodies rewrote themselves to keep the habit, which is exactly why you can drink it, and most of the world can't. You're not the normal one. You're the descendant of the strangest deal our species ever cut with another animal. So I'm curious, what milk did your part of the world grow up on? Buffalo, goat, camel, something with no English name? Drop it below. I'll see you in the next one.